The final part of this section is just talking about common and natural logarithms, which is just logarithms with particular bases. So a common logarithm is a logarithm base 10. So this log base 10 of x, which we usually don't write the base 10. It's like square root. You don't usually write the index of 2, right? So log base 10, we usually just write log. So on a calculator, if you see log, they mean log base 10. This is called a common logarithm, largely because it was the first one invented. It was invented by a guy named Napier, the Scottish guy. It was originally invented. Log base 10 was originally invented to multiply large digits by adding exponents. And that's how a slide rule works, if you've ever seen a slide rule. But now, of course, they're used for a lot of other things. They have many uses. And it's used for that almost not at all because we have calculators. So anyway, that's just written log. So if you see log of x, it means log base 10. It's a common log. This is used anytime you're dealing with really large numbers or really small numbers. So like 0.000025. If you write that in scientific notation, you get 2.5 times 10 to some negative number. And the log base 10 will kind of pick off the power of 10 there, the magnitude of the number. It's also used with very large numbers. So it'll be used in like chemistry or physics when you're talking about atomic distances or less, and astrophysics when you're talking about very large distances, very huge numbers. That's when these are used. So it's often used when your numbers have scientific notation. So I'm just showing you. I can mention that. Since log of 10 to the n is just n. Okay, and then there's the natural log. Natural logarithm is a logarithm base e. That's this Euler number that we had when we did continuously compounded interest. This number comes up a lot in physics and engineering. So log base e of x is usually written ln, and I usually write ln in cursive so it doesn't look like 1 times n, right? But there's a ln button on your calculator. It's usually on the same button as the e to the x and ln. They're inverse functions of each other, right? And so they have them on the same key. 10 to the x and log and the log button will be on the same button usually because they're inverses of each other. So natural log, the ln, the n actually a lot of people think that stands for natural. I did for a long time too, but it actually means Napier, the guy that invented logarithms. They named it after him. He didn't invent this one, but they wanted to honor him, so they named it after him. But you don't need to know that. Most people just call it the natural logarithm. It's called natural because it naturally comes up in physical situations, and it's the one that's most natural to use whenever you're doing calculus. And you'll see why if you take calculus. You'll really appreciate ln. The natural log. It works out really nicely. Yeah. So I mentioned that here. I just wrote it out for you. Used a lot in calculus because computations are easier with exponential base e. Seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's true. Exponential and logarithmic functions base e are easier than base 10 in calculus. And then I just made a note just historical note. It's Napier. I had to look up the pronunciation because it doesn't look like it would be Napier, but it's Scottish, so what can you say? That's the International Phonetic Alphabet, if you're familiar with that. This right here. I'm kind of into this kind of stuff. It says Napier. John. I used to think it was French, Napier. That would be cooler, right? Napier. But it's not, it's some Scottish guy. He invented the base 10 logarithms. Anyway, that's the end of that section.